Tonight, we gathered to celebrate leaders who embody the very best of what Keystone stands for: the belief that collaboration, dialogue, and a genuine commitment to solutions can move even the most difficult challenges forward.
You know, partnerships aren't new to us, right? We're a 120-plus-year-old company. We have operations in 120 countries around the world. And, we have to work with different types of people with different types of problems to provide a service and solutions. So I think today that level of collaboration and partnership is as important as ever. And I think making sure that we work with policymakers, researchers, industry experts, sitting down at that table, having transparent discussions about the realities of the world today, what we wish it to look like in the future, and having a group of diverse people talking about solutions to help solve those problems.
Most people don't represent what is currently happening in Washington or even in a lot of state houses. And we find that we bring out the better angels of people when we bring them together and are allowed to go and set aside the rhetoric. We're not naive to politics, pushing on policy solutions that we navigate. But we give them a chance to break bread together, to actually talk first without necessarily the organizational or industry perspective that they have, but as experts and knowledgeable in their own right as people. And that allows us to kind of keep pushing forward. And I think what we seek is what most people desire. Can you all just find a way to answer some of these urgent problems?
But Tom and I both got elected for the first time to Congress in 2016. 2017 was when the Problem Solvers in its current form really was the genesis of the group. The concept is a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you want to join, you have to find someone from the opposite party to join with you. Currently, we're at, 24, thereabouts?
23.
Democrats and Republicans. The number has relatively stayed the same. Obviously, we tend to ebb and flow, particularly in midterms, because we have a lot of more centrist district members. And we believe in some very, very basic principles that should be common sense, that we think the country would function much more efficiently if everyone adopted. And that is taking the same approach to government that we take towards our personal relationships. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Take 80% of something over 100% of nothing. Try to see the world through the other person's eyes. Find the points of intersection and work together to get those things done. Don't let the 15% disagreement stop all progress. Leave them on the side of the road and come back to them at another point. And so that's what our group believes in. We're 46 members now, and there's 435 members of the House, so do the math. Our hope is to get rid of the caucus one day and just have it be called Congress. That would be nice.
But we have to get back to some of the basics in our country. And the big worry of the founders was that the people were not going to participate enough, that they wouldn't be educated about the issues and they wouldn't participate. And the people in this room, you don't really appreciate the fact that you're so important and so powerful to change our country. 60% of Americans do not graduate from college. The median wage is $85,000 a year. You are the best and the brightest in our country. You say, oh, I'm not as big as the tech bros, and I'm not as big as this one, and bigger than that. You're the best and the brightest in our country. And we need you to be involved in this process of saving our country from this division that's happening right now, and demanding that our elected officials get to work not serving the parties, but serving the people and solving the problems in our country. We need you more than ever.
The thing is, when I was writing this book, I discovered that across the world, talking to 100-plus experts, amazing things are happening across the world that we don't know. It's not enough. It's not happening at speed and scale, but amazing things are happening across the world where it shows that technology itself is not enough. Technology has to come with government, business, people, decision maker, regulators, communities. When good solutions happen, these things come together. The book documents more than 60 examples of great things that are happening in the world. And what is really makes me optimistic is that the two things that stand out in these examples are the following. One, that if we actually do things that makes people's lives better, not just fixes climate or reduces carbon, actually makes people's lives better, those solutions are durable. They actually go past different election cycles. And the second is none of those solutions actually was done with any one agency. It's exactly this what Keystone stands for, is that only solutions are durable when different organizations, different people lower their walls and come and work together. Only then do we get to create a solution that is a lasting impact.
You know, status quo is not company policy. Was originally developed. Rayburn had some really hard and fast deadlines that we had to make, and projects that had to be completed. And if we kept doing things the way we had always been doing them, we were not going to be successful. Over time, and we met those deadlines. Over time, it's evolved to where really, and I think we've talked at least about this, you know, with innovation and what have you all tonight, but stagnation is really the enemy of what we're trying to accomplish, particularly here in the energy field. We can't be stagnant. The industry is changing way too much. And so, you know, that's really what we've tried to develop and what we try to encourage at Rayburn with the folks that we have.
One of the things that we knew we needed to do to really keep, you know, set some boundaries, some bumpers up for ourselves was we had to have a strategy that focused on the feedback that our customers were giving us. You know, I serve 1.4 million customers in San Antonio. Public power, they always have, you know, feedback that they will give you on the job that they think you should be doing. And so we got to work after Winter Storm Uri and, you know, and put a plan together that really kept us focused on the things that mattered. You know, how to build a reliable and resilient system, how to make sure that system was affordable, you know, how to do all the innovative things that our customers expected us to do. We're number 2 in wind. We're number 1 in solar in Texas. We will be number 1 in battery storage, and we got partners, you know, OCI in the room that's helping us with our battery storage projects. So, you know, we just got to work, Clint, and the plans have kept us focused. We're thinking long-term about the future and thinking about what the possible scenarios for us look like. And when you do that, you're not starting from ground zero. You know, you've actually got, you know, some elements of a plan that you can actually, you know, execute on. And my team and I and a lot of the team members in the room, it's not about the awards that we're getting and even this recognition tonight. It's about the team.
So we need to figure out how to increase the utilization of the grid that our customers have already paid for. And I think flexibility, grid flexibility, application of new technology, especially in the transmission area, those are the kind of things that we're all tackling in the industry. On the other side, in terms of affordability, we want to make sure that data centers are paying their fair share, that they're paying the costs that they're imposing on the grid, that the cost is not being shifted to the rest of our customers. And in Illinois, we're fortunate to have policies and legislation that address affordability, address the electric supply and address the affordability, and enables utilities like ComEd to be able to implement programs to make sure that our customers are protected, that our bills remain affordable, and for all of our customers. So it's a big challenge, but I think all of us on this stage, we're up for it.
What a night. I've spent my career covering the most difficult stories in the world, conflict, crisis, and the moments when the course of history turns. And what I've learned after all of it is that the most powerful force in the world is not a weapon or a policy or a market. It's people, particularly the right people in the right room, willing to listen to one another. That's what Keystone has been building for decades, and tonight you have seen it at its finest. To our honorees, we again offer our congratulations and gratitude. Your work matters, your leadership matters, and our community is better for it. To each of you in this room, Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping Keystone. Thank you for believing, as Keystone does, that progress is possible, that the hard problems are not hopeless, and that it is always worth sitting at the table.